President Trump. Do you feel like your positions and policy statements are in line with President Trump?
Yes, I hope so.
Do you love inflation?
I love ending Iran's ability.
Representative Emilia Sykes put Energy Secretary Chris Wright on the spot with one simple question: do you love inflation? What followed was a tense exchange as Wright tried to defend President Trump after the president declared, "I love the inflation." Sykes wasn't letting him dodge the question, and by the end, she accused the administration of casually discussing war while keeping its own cabinet in the dark. Here's what happened.
Thank you very much. Now I'd like to recognize Ms. Sykes from Ohio.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Thank you to the witness for being here. I will say your expertise is energy, and I would hope that you would not invoke the words of Dr. Martin Luther King without adequate context, because quite frankly, that is not your expertise. But since you want to talk about people unqualified in meritocracies, let's talk about President Trump. Do you feel like your positions and policy statements are in line with President Trump?
Yes, I hope so.
Do you love inflation?
I love ending Iran's ability to have a nuclear weapon. I think that's existential
thank you.
for
That
our
was
future.
not my question. Do you love inflation, yes or no?
I love ending Iran's
That is not my question. Do
ability
you
to
love
get a nuclear
inflation,
weapon.
yes or no?
No, I would prefer lower inflation.
You would prefer low inflation. Do you know that your boss, essentially President Trump, just stated that he loved inflation?
He's an entertaining, hyperbolic guy who's done tremendous leadership and on balance is driving inflation down.
So it sounds like you were unaware that the President Trump just mentioned that he loved inflation, and I certainly don't want to get you in trouble with your boss, but it sounds like you don't love inflation, but he does. But let me ask you this other question. Are you aware that the United States was taking millions of barrels of gasoline from Iran in the Strait of Hormuz?
We are preventing the flow of Iranian oil through the Strait of Hormuz.
That is not the question that I just asked you. Were you aware that the United States has been taking millions of gallons of oil from the Strait of Hormuz?
Just not sure taking is the right word. We're preventing the flow of it.
Well, thank you. Mr. Chair, if I may, can I play some audio from some comments that President Trump made in the Oval Office? Okay.
The numbers were great.
I don't think we've heard this.
I love the inflation. You know why? Because as soon as this war is over, I can say it now. Something you didn't know. Do you know we've been taking out
Let's suspend
millions of
that,
barrels
please.
of oil? Nobody knows it. You know who doesn't know about it? Iran, until right now.
Mr. Secretary, it seems like you didn't know about this either. So why would the United States be taking out millions of barrels of oil from Iran?
Well, it's essential that we prevent oil sales from generating revenue for Iran to spend to develop nuclear weapons and oppress their
Mr. Secretary, I understand this might be an uncomfortable line of questioning and you don't want to do it, but you are not answering my question. So I'm going to ask you again, and I'm going to hope that you will answer it honestly. Did you know that the United States was taking millions of gallons of oil from Iran?
I'm unaware.
So do you think that the president is lying based on the audio that you just heard? And I will send it to you in case you say you didn't hear it.
Oh, no, I do not think the president's lying. I think the president's talking casually about our efforts to stop the flow of Iranian oil, and
war
we're
is
stopping those
casual?
tankers.
Do you think that it is appropriate to talk casually about war?
I think you talk to all different audiences and you talk in all different styles. But I don't have any serious objection to what he said.
You don't have any serious objection for someone talking about war casually? Do you have that objection? There are 13 service people who are dead. There are hundreds more that are injured, but we should be talking about war casually.
He treats this war deadly serious, and he has worked tirelessly on this war.
Mr. Secretary,
it,
you just said that
it.
he was speaking casually about this. He
speaks 20 hours a day. He speaks 20 hours a day in different styles for different audiences.
He is the President of the United States of America. He is the Commander-in-Chief who is responsible for 13 service members who have died and hundreds more who are injured. So you mean to say to me, testifying in front of this committee in the United States House of Representatives, that it is appropriate for the Commander-in-Chief to talk about war casually?
He speaks candidly, openly, and honestly. I think all of America benefits from that.
Well, I appreciate your attempt to protect your boss and to keep your job, but let me be very clear with you. It is not appropriate to talk about war casualty. He is clearly keeping you in the dark about what he is doing in Iran, and now you are sitting here in this committee unaware that the president just made an announcement about millions of barrels that they have taken from Iran and stated in that very, very clearly, people don't know, but now we get to know it. But unfortunately, he sent you here and you didn't know it. What is your response to that?
I'm very proud to serve with President Trump. He's been tremendous leadership in a time of great stress right now. I'm proud of what he's doing, proud to be part of the team.
Well, I would not be proud if my boss sent me up Schitt's Creek and left me here in a committee without adequate information and speaking casually about war. That is a horrible place to be, and I'm so sorry that you have to defend that. That is beneath your honor.
Gentlewoman's time's expired. I'd also remind the gentlewoman that there was exactly 13 U.S. service members killed at Abbey Gate in the disgraceful withdrawal from Afghanistan. Who's next? Would like to.
One of the sharpest exchanges of the hearing unfolded when Representative Emilia Sykes challenged Energy Secretary Chris Wright over comments President Trump recently made about inflation and the administration's handling of the conflict with Iran. Sykes began by reminding Wright that while he has expertise in energy policy, invoking historical figures like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. without proper context was outside his area of expertise. She quickly pivoted to the issue she wanted to address: whether Wright's views truly aligned with those of President Trump. Her opening question appeared simple. Do you love inflation? Instead of answering directly, Wright immediately shifted to discussing Iran's nuclear ambitions, praising the administration's efforts to prevent Tehran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. Sykes interrupted him repeatedly, insisting that he answer the question she actually asked. After several attempts to avoid a direct response, Wright finally answered that he preferred lower inflation. That answer set up Sykes' next move. She informed Wright that President Trump had recently stated publicly that he loved inflation. To make sure there was no confusion, Sykes requested permission to play the president's own remarks before the committee. The recording included Trump saying he loved inflation while discussing the conflict with Iran and claiming the United States had been taking millions of barrels of Iranian oil. When the audio ended, Sykes immediately turned back to Wright. She asked whether he had been aware that the United States was supposedly taking millions of barrels of oil from Iran. Rather than confirming the statement, Wright repeatedly reframed the discussion, saying the administration was working to stop Iran from selling oil and using those revenues to fund its nuclear ambitions. Sykes pressed again. Had he known about what the president had just announced? Eventually, Wright admitted that he was unaware. That answer became the centerpiece of Sykes' argument. If the president had publicly revealed something his own energy secretary did not know, she asked, what exactly was happening inside the administration? She then asked whether Wright believed the president had been lying. Wright rejected that suggestion, arguing instead that Trump was speaking casually about the administration's efforts to restrict Iranian oil exports rather than making a literal statement about seizing oil. Sykes shifted the discussion from oil policy to presidential leadership. She argued that there is nothing casual about war. With American service members killed and others injured in ongoing conflicts, she said the commander-in-chief should speak with precision rather than making off-the-cuff remarks that create confusion among both the public and members of his own administration. Wright continued defending the president, describing Trump as someone who speaks candidly and in different styles for different audiences. He praised Trump's leadership and insisted Americans benefit from his openness. Sykes was unconvinced. She argued that the exchange demonstrated a troubling lack of coordination inside the administration. According to her, cabinet officials should never arrive before Congress unable to explain statements made by the president only moments earlier. In one of her strongest moments, Sykes said she would not be proud if her own boss sent her before Congress without the information necessary to answer basic questions. She added that asking cabinet officials to defend confusing public statements was beneath their office and their professional responsibility. The hearing concluded with Sykes arguing that presidential leadership during international conflicts demands clarity, accountability, and transparency. Rather than receiving direct answers, she said, lawmakers were left watching senior administration officials struggle to explain comments they had never been briefed on. The exchange highlighted broader concerns raised throughout the hearing about communication, oversight, and whether key national security decisions are being clearly conveyed within the administration itself.